All right, we're gonna get a couple trays of seedlings going. We got some mini bell peppers and some yellow pear tomatoes. So you always wanna check the back, read all your information, see if there's anything special that these seeds need. I think these are pretty basic, pretty self-explanatory. We're not direct sowing, so we don't need any of this information because we're gonna get these started indoor, but if you're going directly into the soil, you wanna pay attention to all this here. This will tell you how deep to plant them, how far apart, your rows, all that information. But we're just going into trays, so we're just gonna go for it. So this is a 50 cell tray, and I've got my seed starting mix. This is, what's all in here? Peat moss, some perlite, and a little bit of worm castings, just to give a little bit of bacteria and nutritional background for the plants to get started. I watered this last night, so it had plenty of time to saturate. There's nothing worse than trying to water a dry seedling tray, because then your seeds float all over the place. So you just want to kind of pour it all in there. Spread it around. You don't want this soil compacted or squished in there, because those fragile little roots are going to have one heck of a time trying to push through if you do. Take that and throw it in the tray. You want to use these bottom trays so that when you do water them, how I water is I'll lift up the tray, I'll pour my water into the bottom, and then I'll drop that in there, because again, you don't want to really water from the top, really disturb that soil, make those seedlings a little upset. They don't like to be bothered when they're young like that. And then just take a marker or pencil, anything like that. Poke yourself a couple rows worth of holes. I'm not going to do the whole tray. Let's start with some tomatoes. You don't want to poke your holes all the way down to the bottom, because you don't want them to like get fully saturated with the water when you do go to water. Just about halfway through the cell. Man, these are some tiny seeds. All right. So there's our little guys. Now, a lot of people, if you're really trying to stretch, you can do one seed per hole, but I like doing 2, sometimes 3, just in case one of them doesn't germinate. You're not wasting a hole. And you can always come back and prune out or thin out the ones that aren't looking too hot. There's a couple rows done, and then we want to just real gently cover that hole and just real lightly tamp it down. Again, we don't want to compact that soil. We don't want to smash them in there. We want them to have a nice, easy time getting out. All right, so rinse, repeat across the whole tray. Get yourself a humidity dome. These really improve your germination rates, especially in a dry environment like Colorado. That'll keep it nice and humid. Make sure your vents are closed for the first week or 2 until they really get established. And then take that and throw it inside under some lights. And you want some good lights that are relatively close to it, because you don't want them to stretch up and get super leggy, because then you got to retransplant them and it's a whole headache. So yeah, that's basics of propagation when it comes to seeds.